Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Well, I'll be damned. Is this my YouTube family? Did I just stumble upon my YouTube family? Welcome back to the show. It's been a while. I apologize. First of all, let me say, hope everyone is staying safe amidst what's going on right now. I hope everyone is listening, staying aware, safe, cautious, and not panicked, because we got this. But first, before I start a story time on something that is kind of overdue, but I knew that I needed to take my time because it's a lot. I'm not gonna make this morbid or sad or anything like that. Y'all, how am I out of breath walking around the house? Huh? Before I start the story time though, I want to first shout out this brand. They make amazing t-shirts. I Am Goals, one of my favorites. Also, they have another one that's actually my all-time favorite, and it is this one right here. I got slick to say, cause I do. Now, if you know me, if my personality came in a shirt, it will be this one right here. This one all the way. But anyway, sorry about that. Back to the regularly scheduled programming. Welcome back, savages. So the brand name is called Sarcasm on everything. I will link everything down in the description box below. Also leave some things up here, somewhere on the screen. But as far as, check the description box if you actually want to go to their Instagram and click the link to their website and whatnot. It's a small business and I really love what they're doing. I love the messages they have. I think it's relatable. I'm all for supporting small businesses. So let's do that for one another, yeah? If you like what you see, go and support. Okay, so grab a snack. I already have mine. Let's get nice and cozy on this pretty important day. Today is March 31st. This is gonna be hard. Today is March 31st, which marks 1 year of the death of Nipsey Hussle, which greatly affected me. After Nipsey passed, I went to a memorial and got injured pretty badly. It could have been worse, absolutely, but to me it was very traumatic and life-changing. Let's start from the beginning. On this day, exactly 1 year ago, I was at work. It was pretty busy. When I got to work, you guys, these are my cats. They're gonna be interrupting the whole video. Now, if you watch my videos and you're a supporter, you're gonna know that I have 10 fun facts about me. They're, you know, if you wanna know more information on them, they're in it. Pardon me. One more. I was at work. I came into work and the news was already kind of out there that he had been shot or whatnot, but no one knew the details as far as his state, if he's recovering, if whatever. I had that very moment for some reason when I heard that. It's almost like I had a really deep instinct that he wasn't gonna pull through. Now, what I will say is I've known his music 2008 Nipsey, okay? When we used to bump Bullets Ain't Got No Name in Seattle, that record was all over Seattle. So I've definitely known Nipsey and about him and his music, but I'm gonna be 100%. I wasn't bumping his stuff shortly to before he passed, or I wasn't. But when I finally heard that he had actually succumbed to his injuries and passed, it hit me really deep. It hit me as if I had lost a family member. This is gonna be really messed up to say. I've lost friends and I've been sad, like of course, obviously devastated, but for some reason with him, I was distraught. It really affected my entire being. I don't know why. It was very spiritual. And I think it was because he was trying to shed a light, and this light could have possibly harmed him. I think he was trying to enlighten us on certain things. I don't want to say too much on here, but if you get my drift, you know where I'm going with this. That he was definitely fighting for us and for us to see the truth. Anyway, so I remember that day very vividly again, and I remember the whole mood changing in my entire workspace. And it's not just me. Like, I thought I was tripping. Everybody is feeling this. I cried profusely. I cried like it was getting annoying to where it was like snap out of it, like what's going on. I couldn't shelter my emotions, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things where you got to just let it go or it'll get to you. I've cried recently. I have thought about him literally every day since then. So let's get to this, you know, part where I'm sure you guys are very intrigued to get to. So fast forward April 11th, this was his big memorial service where he was, his hearse was, there was a map where it was driving from the Staples Center to the Memorial funeral home. There was a map so everyone knew where he was gonna be. I'm talking about the amount of people, you guys, that were there supporting Nipsey all throughout the city of LA. And I don't mean Hollywood, I mean LA, the real LA. We watched the memorial at the Staples Center on TV, and it was great. And we decided, hey, let's support, like, we need to feel more involved. And I felt like I needed to be there too. I don't know, I was like, let's just go, like, let's go. And we went down to his store, his marathon store, right there on Crenshaw and Slauson.
7 zones in the set, $250,000, no sweat. Last time from the streets, voice out west, legendary self-made progress.
It was so many people, like the camaraderie was dope too. Like there was no skin color down there. There was no one looking up and down. Their gang rivalries were together, all because of this one man. We had bought some candles, some other things that we were hoping to, you know, pay our respects. But when I tell you we could not move, first of all, they had that store barricaded. Police, tanks, SWAT. I'm not even exaggerating. It looked like martial law out there, like for real. I think we literally were there for about 5-10 minutes, you guys. I'm not even kidding. We went in the crowd, and I think we were in the crowd for about 15 seconds. Things started popping. I think about 1 or 2 major pops, and y'all, the crowd went crazy. We're kind of in the front line of the crowd. I turn around, I run, but I can't make it. I fall, and there's just stampede of people. Now, I wasn't on top of somebody. I was front line. I was on the ground. People were falling over me. In that moment, I thought I was gonna die. I just remember somehow gaining some kind of supernatural strength and lifting my arms up and somehow holding everyone. And I just started saying, in the name of Jesus. It was all like, y'all, it was all so slow, but yet also fast. I don't know if many of you guys have been in something extremely traumatic where you think you're gonna die, you're almost certain, and you can recall everything, but you start remembering bits and pieces of other things. It all seems so fast, but yet so slow. It's definitely an eerie feeling if you haven't felt that before. I remember not being able to take it anymore and caving in, and my chest was literally caving in as well. And I was like, I'm not gonna be able to, if people don't start getting off of me now, like I will suffocate. This guy was right there on a bike, and he was panicked too. And I reached my arm out, and he somehow grabbed my arm, y'all. He grabbed my arm, and he started throwing people off of me. Once everyone kind of, and there were still people on me, which is crazy, but for the most part, majority of my body was free. And this guy is like helping me out, helping me, like, why can't I get you out of here? So we both looked at my left leg, and there was a bike, just a regular mountain bike on top of my leg, y'all. So when everybody was falling, a guy on a bike also was toppled. The bike fell on my leg first, then him, then other people. So you can kind of imagine how scared I was when I looked down. I thought that my leg was probably gonna be severed. Like, y'all probably think I am so dramatic. And we both looked down and we realized there's a bike on my left leg. That's why I'm not able to really be pulled from under all these people. He pulled the bike off, and I remember, first of all, first thing first, I got my ass up because I'm like, none of that, I'll look at my leg later. In my head is I had tunnel vision to just get up and run, get off the ground and go somewhere, run somewhere. To my knowledge, at that moment, those were gunshots. Those were real gunshots. I got up, and the first thing I thought, I was like, okay, I can move my leg. Like, I don't feel pain, I can move my leg. But we're back. Where was I? Get your... Picking up. So, I get up, I realize that I can feel my leg, all is well, and I'm hopping. I'm hopping because I do feel some pain. And as I'm trying to hop, I look down and I see my bone. There's a thin layer of skin and then there's just bone. So that skin was super detached and super spread out, and I could just see my bone. There was someone's denim jacket on the floor, and it probably wasn't the cleanest or safest thing to do, but I remember as I was limping, I grabbed it. And Louisiana Chicken is right across the street from Marathon, and that restaurant was closed, and it was only to people that were injured or like children. So there was an officer standing in the middle, and I was like, officer, I'm hurt. And he looked down at my leg and immediately was like, get in here. And I was like, I need paramedics. I wrapped the denim jacket around my leg and just had it there. And I'm like, God, that could have been so dangerous because my bone was exposed. And if I'm like picking up a dirty jacket from the floor and wrapping it around my leg, like my leg could have gotten infected. So I go in, I sit on a bench, I levitate my leg on the little like backrest of that bench, and like think of a booth. So I sit down, or I lay down, and I put my leg over that on top of that bench rest, and I'm just, levitating my leg because obviously I don't want blood rushing out. However, blood was not gushing out. I guess I was really spared, y'all, because as long as I waited for any type of help, I could have bled out. People are still freaking out outside. Like it's crazy, y'all. It's like a riot outside, and I'm kind of sitting there trying to keep calm, trying to, because I know how I am. Once I get into panic attack mode, I go all in. So I'm like, I knew that I had to retract myself because there's nothing I can do. So I knew I had to stay calm. And I told the security, I was like, I need a paramedic. He straight up says, they're not coming. They're too scared to go through the crowd. You have to go to them. They said they're not coming through that crowd because it's too dangerous. You're gonna have to go to them. Let me back up. In like a state of shock, I'm like, I can still limp, I shouldn't have. Because when my adrenaline is pumping, I don't feel a thing. So one of my other best friends, Ricky, who was visiting from Vegas, he's my childhood friend from Seattle, and his brother decided to carry me just away from the crowd to another street. I went ahead and put both shoulders over each one. They picked up my leg as I extended my left one, obviously, with a tied wife beater around my leg, blood coming down my leg. It wasn't gushing, but there was blood coming out, and people are just making way as I'm coming. Thank God, people are just making way, and people thought I got shot in my leg. To this day, I have people that still remember me. Like, hey, you're that girl that got carried through the crowd? Like, how's your leg? Did you get shot? And I'm like, no, I didn't get shot. The punk ass bike. I know you guys want to know, like, well, what happened? A balloon popped. A balloon popped. Again, everyone was there showing their respects to Nipsey. So people had balloons, posters, candles. A lot of people made things and knitted things for him. So in the midst of that, a balloon popped, and everyone went ape shit. Everyone went bonkers. And I could have lost my leg over a balloon. I cannot make this stuff up. It really did feel like it was something out of the movies. It really did. And I remember passing a paramedic truck and they're like, oh, there's nothing in this truck. And there was a whole bunch of EMTs outside. They were like, you gotta go to that one. And I can't help but wonder to this day, were those actors? Were those people staged? Because there were EMTs, police officers, watching me go by, just standing there, by the way. It's not like I'm taking them away from a task. They didn't walk up to me. They didn't say, hey, get in my police car, I'm rushing to the hospital. They did nothing. That's why I have a love and hate relationship for police officers. For the most part, I do love them. I have a great respect for what they do. But that day, y'all, they were not messing with me. So we're trying to call Ubers at this point. Ubers are saying they're not gonna get to me for like 30 minutes. Obviously we didn't care about money at that point. But we're like, well, can we get a cab? Like anything. We see a corner store with a chair in front. You couldn't walk, I couldn't just walk to a hospital, walk to a corner to get an Uber to get picked up. This was like miles of people supporting NIP. Like I couldn't get out. It wasn't just like a one block in a vicinity where I'd be good over here, but like this is where the crowd, no. So I'm sitting there waiting and we see a car that says Lyft and Uber in the front. So we knew that he worked for both. By the grace of God, this man was off, right? He was off from a ride and just kind of riding around. How much would you charge for my friend to take my friend to the nearest hospital? Gave him $40, took me to the nearest hospital. There it was crazy. I feel like other people got hurt, I missed everything going on because I waited about 40 minutes to be seen. In that time when I was waiting is when I started to feel the pain. My back, whatever this is right here, like the upper area of my back, like right before my neck, my arms, I was just starting to feel pain. My thighs, black and blue from people stepping over me, stepping on me, falling on me. I was like, damn, I really got messed up. I go obviously into another waiting room to see a nurse who sees my leg. Then I have to wait some more for the doctor to come and see my leg. And the whole time I'm thinking, can one of you guys disinfect my leg? I'll wait here all day, all night if I have to. But while I'm waiting, can one of you guys disinfect my leg? Squeeze some shit on there. Some hydrogen peroxide. How I was handled, at least that day, could have been more efficient. You know what I mean? Because as soon as that lady saw my leg, I saw her face change. She should have immediately disinfected my leg. Anyway, doctor comes in, looks at my leg and says, okay, we're gonna go ahead and disinfect. So they disinfect. And then he looks at me and he's like, okay, now we have to do x-rays. And I'm like, what? Like, can't you just stitch me up and I'll be on my way? He was like, no, because we need to do an x-ray because your bone is exposed. And if your bone is infected or fractured or broken or anything, even if it's a hairline fracture, we gotta go into surgery. It's not that easy. That's when I started freaking out. That's when I really began to think the severity of everything, because I'm like, I'm a dancer. If my leg is infected or my bone is broken, which I knew it wasn't because he asked me, he was like, you walked on it, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, so we know it's not broken, but there could be a hairline fracture on it. We want to make sure your bone is good before we move on. And I remember just being scared, thinking, what if the x-ray comes back and it's not good? What if my leg isn't good? Like, what if I'm not going to be able to dance to the full capacity that I can dance? He sees my leg and he looks at me and he's like, how are you not screaming? Like, are you okay? Do you need medication? And I was like, no, I'm straight, but like, I'm really hungry. Like, can I ask somebody to go grab me some pizza, or y'all got food? He's like, you can't eat, again, because if I were having to go into surgery, I can't eat because I could have acid reflux or throw up while I'm under anesthesia and I could choke and die. Never knew that. I was just hungry. I just wanted something, Jack in the Box, some Domino's, something, a wing, something. I was starved. My body went through a lot that day. Starts to, gives me the local anesthesia in my leg, shoots me up, starts stitching me up, and realizes that my skin, it's too far out to stitch. He was gonna have to sew my fat over my bone and then stitch. Like, he was squeezing my skin when he was stitching, and then squeeze my skin to stitch. 15 stitches inside and 13 stitches outside. So 15 stitches in my fat and then 13 stitches outside. I get released. I get crutches, obviously. I'm on crutches for about 4 or 5 days. If I were to really walk on it as tight as my skin was to close, I didn't want it to rupture, so I wasn't supposed to walk on it, but I was hopping to the fridge. I don't be listening sometimes. I'll learn my lesson one day. So I scheduled an appointment. I had to a week after, that was a week after being released. It was recommended by my doctor that I go see and make an appointment to a hospital and to be seen by a doctor somewhere close to me.
You could do
so they can evaluate the stitches and how they're healing and make sure everything's going good and the stitches aren't infected. So I do that and I go, and obviously the doctors looked at me and was like, yeah, you're not ready to pull those. And I definitely wasn't. I can tell. The stitches were still pretty raw, but everyone was like, oh, you're healing beautifully. So I'm like, okay. So let's speed this up because I don't want to make this a really long video, and I apologize if it's already too long. Let's just go ahead and fast forward to when they start removing my stitches. They went ahead and removed every other stitch. They thought that was best. I came back about a week later and they removed the rest of the stitches. As I'm washing my leg one particular night, I look down and I see a black line across, and I'm trying to kind of put my finger in it, and I'm trying to kind of play with it. I know this isn't a stitch. I know they did not leave a stitch in me. And by that time, I had a little bit of skin kind of healing over. Because first of all, my stitches supposedly were supposed to be taken out a week later, but my stitches were left in for 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks. So I already had skin growing over the scab. Y'all, do you know my skin could have closed over that stitch, and then my body could have rejected that stitch or something, and I don't know. Y'all know where I'm going with this. Y'all know I'm dramatic. I'm like, if they're messing up stitches, I feel like stitches, especially basic stitches like the one I had, I feel like that's ABC 1, 2, 3 for nurses and doctors, right? I might be wrong. But I'm like, if you messing up and leaving stitches in me, what y'all doing in the surgical room? So I scheduled an appointment for them to take it out. I go in, and the nurse I had, or the doctor, sorry, she was a doctor, I requested that I be seen and handled by a doctor. No offense to nurses, but I'm sorry. It's I need the head honcho in this office right now. That's who I need taking care of my leg. She comes in, really nice lady. She looks at the stitch and just starts profusely apologizing. She was able to get one part of it out. I know a part did come out, but she said there's still some more left. And I can't pull it through. Your skin has already grown over it. She looked at me and said, I'm going to have to cut you again to remove that stitch. Here I am, thinking I'm on the road to recovery. I got all my stitches out. I'm thinking this little last stitch left in me could just easily be pulled out somehow. And here I am again, having to live through the trauma again of being cut open. The same spot. I'm really back at square one. I'm back at square one. That was that. I will show you my leg now. I don't really feel like it healed the best. just because I feel like the scar was much thinner. Sorry, y'all, I'm trying to get this to focus. I feel like the scar was much thinner when the stitches were in, and I feel like my scar just kind of spread out, and it's gnarly. It is gnarly. Sorry about I'm scratching right here, that's why I'm red. Sorry about my legs, you know, quarantine time. The only downfall is I am forever changed because I am numb on this side. Can't feel a thing. And then when I trickle over here, oh, right here, it's a tingly sensation, and it feels disgusting because I feel it all up my leg, all the way up my leg. So I unfortunately do have deep nerve damage, which some people are saying that will go away after a couple years. So I'm hoping so. I was healing all the way through about my birthday, because I remember around my birthday I started kind of feeling confident, wearing my leg out more, feeling better about the whole situation. In that time of healing, unfortunately, I was not even 70%, so I was not able to dance. It was not recommended for me to dance until I was fully healed, so I definitely wanted to listen to that advice and stay off of my feet in that way. In that time, and I think for the rest of that year, I was put into, obviously I couldn't work my body out the way I was used to. And that really started, for the first time, started battling depression. For the first time, I started to feel what other people were possibly feeling when they were like, I'm depressed and all that. And back then I used to be like, it's a mental thing, just get over it. How ignorant of me. Whew. When you're forced to sit down, I was having nightmares. I didn't feel at peace mentally. I felt like I was battling through what felt like situational depression, because I knew that I was sad because of my current state. Nothing was actually wrong, right? I was alive, I was healthy, I have a roof over my head, car, my family's healthy, my finances are fine. And I really didn't pull through until the end of 2019. Some of you guys asked, where have I been? I took a break off social media. I would appear and sometimes I would disappear. I needed time to heal. I couldn't get on camera with my inner problems and produce good content for you guys. I didn't have it in me to be fake. And I'm still kind of taking time off because I do know how important now, how important now mental health is. And if I feel like I need a break, I take my breaks. And that's how I don't break down, is because I allow myself to take breaks, whether it's a couple days, whether it's a couple weeks, even if it's a couple months. I know in my time when I'm ready. Just know, you guys, when and if ever I shoot for you guys, if you see me in anything, I am being my authentic self. Always. I cannot shoot if I'm not feeling myself. That's not fair to you guys, and it's not fair to me as an artist. That's not fair to my craft. I'm better than that. The only thing that gave me peace within everything I was battling mentally and my situational depression was the Lord. I would listen to sermons and feel completely at peace. It was the only time when I felt completely at peace, a sound heart and a sound mind. Push through if you are going through anything where you feel like you are battling something. You will be okay. Look at me. You will be okay. Push through. I did want to mention that because I didn't want to, I wanted to mention everything that I went through, every phase physically and internally that I was dealing with going through this process. That was meant to happen to me, to have a spiritual awakening and to go through these things so I can come out stronger. That was meant to happen. I didn't know when I was gonna tell this story. I was like, I would tell it when I'm ready. And I woke up today and I was like, today's the perfect day and I'm ready. I'm ready to share my story. Oh, yeah, but that's it, folks. I'm sorry for the long story time. I'm going to try and be better at that. If you want more story times, like other personal life stuff. I have a couple funny ones pertaining dating and just things that happened in high school and my upbringing. Let me know because I would love to share them. RIP to Nipsey Hussle. You're never going to be forgotten, at least in my heart. And thank you for inspiring so many. I hope that I inspire some of you guys. That's ultimately why I'm here. I can make you laugh all day long, but if I'm not doing it in purpose, then it's kind of like, what am I really doing it for? So go ahead and check out this brand. Description will be down below. Guys, story time got real. I should make myself a sandwich. I'm gonna make a sandwich. Back to quarantine and chill. All right, NayBaes. I'm gonna catch y'all real soon. I promise. Nay Nation out. Let me do that again. Nay Nation out.